Hey guys, Keaton here from TechSmart, and today we're going to be comparing the two hottest consoles on the market right now, the Xbox One to the PlayStation 4. These consoles are absolutely fantastic, and they're the same in some categories and then definitely different in others in terms of pricing, specifications, and just overall usage. So before I forget here, if you guys want to win a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, drop me a comment down below and give this video a like, as it lets me know you guys want more giveaways like this, and I'd be more than happy to go and give a few of these consoles away to you guys, and in some cases I'll just pick a few of you guys from the comments to go and win one of these brand new beasts. Without further ado, let's go and get started to see which one is best for your dollar. So up first here is hardware, so let's go ahead and get the specifications out of the way because these actually do matter and kind of judge how the performance is with both consoles. So the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 both feature 8-core AMD Jaguar CPUs paired with the Radeon 7000 GPU, so pretty good stuff there. The Xbox One clocks in at 1.7 GHz and the PlayStation 4 clocks in at around 1.8 GHz, but both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are only using 8 cores as 2 of the other cores are reserved for other tasks. So in terms of units here, the Xbox One features 12 units as the PlayStation 4 features 18 units, and 10% of the GPU on the Xbox One is being used for the Kinect system that just comes in the box, as the entire GPU is being used for the PlayStation 4. So on the PlayStation 4, and this is where it really starts to kind of get separated here, there's a 50% larger GPU than the Xbox One, and that might not sound a lot because the specifications really do kind of remain the same, but it is amazing in terms of gaming, and it's definitely significant when you go and look at it like that. So in terms of RAM here, they both feature 8 GB, but the Xbox One features 8 GB of DDR3 RAM, as the PlayStation 4 features 8 GB of DDR5 RAM. Definitely a pretty big difference there. But at the end of the day, specs are specs, and it really comes down to how developers use those specifications to give you a pleasurable experience on both consoles. So in terms of design and aesthetics here, the PlayStation 4 features almost a parallelogram shape, and I think it looks absolutely sexy. It really looks nice under a set-top box or things along those lines. And then the Xbox One looks like a VCR from 1980s. It is just massively thick, and I'd even say it's about 1.5 times the size of the PlayStation 4. But unless you're going to be just traveling these around a lot, it's not really going to matter, as it's just going to be sitting on a shelf most of the time. But if you are traveling it around a lot, or you are just traveling around, that could be a big buying aspect to go with the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One. But I really like the design. I think it looks great. I'm not a big fan of the glossy aspects that's featured on the top of the PlayStation 4 and then the right side of the Xbox One. It picks up fingerprints like nobody's business, and you kind of get disappointed a lot and want to clean it with Windex or just a dust cleaner, just things along those lines. But I think both of the designs here, it is just fantastic. And again, it's going to be sitting on a shelf most of its life, so I think it does that justice pretty well. So in terms of accessories on the PlayStation 4, we have our literature, which includes a free trial to PlayStation Plus. We have our one earbud microphone with a 3.5mm jack, so that's kind of cool. You can use other headphones. We have the DualShock 4 controller, which feels super comfy in the hands, an HDMI cable, and I'm so stoked they included that. I love when companies do that. And then we have our power cord, and I love that the power brick is incorporated within the console itself, unlike the Xbox One. And then we have our micro USB charging cord, which will allow you to recharge your DualShock 4 controller. So just taking a quick closer look at the controller, and we'll go and compare them a little bit later. We have the touchpad on there, we have the buttons, and then we have the meshy thumbsticks, and I love how it's very ergonomic and it keeps your thumbs there like we saw on the Xbox 360. Moving on to the accessories on the Xbox 360, we have our literature, the Kinect 2.0, which just is absolutely massive. We have our HDMI cord. Again, I love when they include that. We have our power cord, which plugs into the power brick, which is just bigger than the controller itself. We have the new controller, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Then we have the headset with kind of a weird type of plug on there, and we'll go and take a look at that as well. So just taking a quick look at the controller here, the thumbsticks are a lot different this year. They got this rigid type of sharp texture on there that almost keep your fingers on the controller at all times. It's very hard to get them off there when pressing down. We have a new type of D-pad, and the buttons just feel absolutely fantastic. So in terms of software on the PlayStation 4, there's not really much of a name for it, but I would just classify it as minimalist. I like how everything's presented to you right then and there. The center is where your apps are. You have your games such as Hulu, Voodoo, NBA, Crackle, things along those lines. You can go ahead and install tons of them. You have live from PlayStation 4, a few games. I'm playing Battlefield and Call of Duty Ghosts right now, and we'll check gameplay out in a little bit from that. Then you have your live from PlayStation. You can actually watch people live streaming their content. That's one of the big things in the PlayStation 4, and I just really like how everything's presented. It's clean, it's not too over the top, but it's not too blended into where you don't even know what you're watching. And overall, I felt with the PlayStation 4 software, I could navigate it at my own pace. I know you pretty much can, but it's not too over the top. It's just that perfect amount for what I like. But then again, I am a minimalist, and I just really enjoyed the software on the PlayStation 4. So on the other side of the coin here, we have Microsoft's Xbox One, which is running Windows 8 based software. So I really do like Windows 8 on this console. I'm not a big PC guy. Yes, I have one for gaming and editing. Yes, I do PC game a little bit, but that's another tangent there. But I like the minimalist icons on each. I like how it's very nice and organized. It's very easy to access, and some other consoles out on the market right now have all their content cluttered on one home screen and you have to try to go ahead and navigate it. But I think with Windows on this console, it looks nice. It's very appealing to the eye. The colors are not too exuberant, but they aren't too like faded out and grainy. They're just that right balance. And some of the new features on the Xbox One is the fact you can go ahead and snap, which snap is allowing you to have two screens on there. It's kind of a simple kind of concept, but I do like how you can do that. So I could go ahead and watch Netflix or play a game and have Internet Explorer up there watching a YouTube video. And I just think it works very well, and it's actually quite dead on right there, and it just actually does what it's advertised to do. So that's always a big thing for me. And what Microsoft's really trying to push this year is the whole Kinect thing. So once you go and plug that in, you can go and say Xbox Watch TV or Xbox Bing or Xbox Go To settings, things along those lines. And I do like that a lot, although it can be a bit unresponsive at times, but it's just something new that we've seen in the market, and hopefully with a few software updates down the line, this thing will be absolutely seamless. But overall, I do like the software on the Xbox One. So up next here is controllers, definitely one of the biggest aspects to any type of gaming console, or pretty much anything, mainly because this is what you're going to be using to kind of own your friends and just show them how good you are at said game. So the thumbsticks on the PlayStation 4, they're definitely different this year. They have a ridge to them, almost a bit Xbox 360-like, and I like that because they keep your fingers on there, but they are not uncomfortable, and they just make your gaming feel a lot better when using the thumbsticks. As the Xbox One features a kind of indented thumbstick with rigid edges on the kind of circumference of it, and the problem I have with that is I push down on my thumbsticks and like to push them out when I'm gaming, and it can become uncomfortable and actually make your thumb kind of raw and kind of hurt. But in terms of buttons here, they're all the exact same. We have the same as we do see on the Xbox 360 in terms of the Xbox One controller. They're pretty tactile, and the same on the PlayStation 4. The D-pad on the Xbox One controller is a little bit different, and it's actually more tactile. And then remaining on the PlayStation 4 controller, we have our touchpad, which there's not much for it right now, but hopefully in the future we see it. We have our option and share keys, and that's definitely some of the new features we see in the PlayStation 4. We have our PlayStation button, which will take you back to the home screen at any time. And then towards the bottom, we have our 3.5mm headphone jack to go ahead and plug in mic. And I do like that it does support other earbuds that don't have mics on them. And then to the Xbox One controller here, we have our option and select, and then we have our guide button, which all feel really great and mushy, and I do like that feeling on this controller. And finally, on the flip side of both the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 controller, we have the bumpers, triggers, and we have a light bar and micro USB port. The triggers and bumpers on here feel fantastic. They are so mushy, they're tactile, you can easily go ahead and press them. It's not hard like it was before, and it's actually going to give you quicker fire if you're playing games that actually require the triggers on them, but they just feel fantastic in the hands. The only little gripe I have about it is on the Xbox One controller, depending on where you press on the bumpers, it can be a bit difficult, so you're going to want to try to focus your fingers towards the ends of the bumpers. So up next here is Kinect. It does ship with the Xbox One standard. That's probably one of the big features I like about this, and the fact that it is included, and I can understand why there's an extra $100 to it, but the camera quality in here is pretty decent. It does just go right up on your Xbox One, and they actually give you some literature and how to go ahead and place it. But I'd say Kinect is pretty cool. It does integrate within the Xbox One pretty nicely. You can just see me here and some of the quality that the Xbox One's Kinect really does tout. You can use a microphone with it, and just some of the gestures that you can actually do with it. It's kind of cool, although your arm can get pretty tired after a while because you are holding it up, and oftentimes it doesn't recognize your arm, or sometimes the commands don't work. But I do think down the line this could be something valuable. I do like the microphone on it as well, because it can pick up your audio pretty nicely when you want to say Xbox Go To settings or something along those lines. So I like the whole scroll aspect and how you could just make a fist as long as your hand is recognized within the Kinect sensor, and you can just go ahead and swipe back and forth. It's pretty convenient. Definitely it's a technology that we'll be seeing hopefully soon in gaming consoles. But to be honest, I don't really care too much about the Kinect. I don't really want to go ahead and wave my hands up in the air. Like, I just don't care and just try to go ahead and change menus. I'd rather just do it with the controller because I know it will work when I want it to, versus having to kind of screw around with the whole Kinect sensor to make sure it actually picks up what your hands are wanting to do. So additionally, one of the more proprietary features to the Xbox One, and I can kind of understand why it's so thick, is the fact that it can actually take your cable box's signal and project it on there and just allow you to have a nice Xbox experience over it and pretty much just give you these seamless capabilities that you don't pretty much currently get on your cable box unless you're just from the future and are rocking some cool stuff. So I pretty much hooked up my cable box to this. It kind of took longer than I expected because some TV models that you need to go ahead and set up aren't supported, and therefore I had to go get another TV, etc. But I thought it was pretty nice. You can see the Xbox One guide right now, and I like how all the channels are laid out there. There's a brief description, a quick thumbnail for it. I just found it pretty nice. I mean, the quality's great. One thing I did notice is if the channel is not HD, it will kind of fragment it off and kind of put black bars to the side on it. But other than that, the quality was fine. It was exactly how I'd see it on my TV. And overall, I just thought the kind of TV functionality was something I didn't personally want at first. But after I started getting used to it and the features that it had, I found that it was incorporating into my life pretty nicely, and I think I'd be using it a lot more. So overall, if you are a big TV watcher and really want to go ahead and get a console, I think the Xbox is definitely a no-brainer. So furthermore, one of the biggest components of any type of gaming console is how the games actually look and how they perform. So today I'll be demoing Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 for both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And just a quickie note here, Call of Duty Ghosts for the Xbox One is actually being streamed in 720p HD. I didn't make it like that. It's just how the game is written and how the Xbox actually plays it. But then Battlefield 4 is actually in 1080p, and then Call of Duty Ghosts on the PlayStation 4, followed by Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4, is in 1080p. It's just a wacky thing, and hopefully this is just a one-time thing, as if some games are being streamed in 720p for one console and then 1080p for another console, it could kind of mean you want the other console to get the maximum performance. So up first here is Call of Duty Ghosts on the PlayStation 4, and just a quickie note here for both games on both consoles, this gameplay is being used for educational purposes, but back to the gameplay here, I just think it looks absolutely fantastic on the PlayStation 4. It's one of those things you have to experience in person to actually see it. Now in terms of my abilities here, I know I'm not the best at Call of Duty, but that's okay, I'm better at racing games like Forza, but it's only on the Xbox One. Hopefully, one day it'll come back. But I think the gameplay looks pretty sharp on here. On my TV, it looked crystal clear, and I could see everything vividly, and colors just looked absolutely surreal. So switching over to the Xbox One for Call of Duty Ghosts, I still think the quality looks pretty damn good. It's very hard to portray it on a video like this. You'd actually have to be watching it or seeing it on a TV itself, and if you're doing that, you'll definitely be able to notice the quality difference. But for most games, they're both being shot at 1080p, and I think that's the way to go. I don't know why they kind of did 720p for the Xbox One and 1080p for the PlayStation 4. All that aside, I still think it looks pretty sharp, and the gameplay really wasn't affected. I didn't get killed more often because of the quality or anything like that. So overall, I thought the quality on the Xbox One was top notch. So up next here is Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4, and I gotta tell you guys, this fast-paced action side-to-side game just looks fantastic on the PlayStation 4. In my TV, I was just completely blown away by it, and it's gonna do the same on both the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Content just looks fantastic, colors are vivid, they're sharp, you can see pretty much every single detail if you really try to hone in on something, and I just thought overall this content was fantastic. So on the Xbox One, Battlefield 4 again looks crystal clear sharp, it's being streamed in 1080p this time, and I was just able to pick up every single detail on there on my TV. And again, this is something you actually have to see in person to witness how great the quality truly is. So overall, Battlefield 4 was an absolute treat to use on the Xbox One. So overall, if I had to recommend the PlayStation 4, I most definitely would. Starting with the DualShock 4 controller, it feels extremely comfortable in your hands. I love how there's a speaker on there that allows you to get immersed within your content, and that's something I'm a big fan of. I love the 3.5mm headphone jack input. You can put more comfortable headphones in there, not just headsets, which is fantastic. Graphical performance on here is amazing. Having a 50% larger GPU really does make a difference, and just whenever you are gaming at any time, you will notice how clear and crisp each graphic is. And I'm definitely a big fan of the minimalist software. I think it looks great. It's not too undersaturated, but it's not too oversaturated. It's that perfect balance, and I love the design of it. I love how the power brick is implemented in it, and the best part about it is this console starts at $399. That's $100 less than the Xbox One. So if I had to recommend the Xbox One, I definitely would. Starting with the controller, I love how it feels. I love how mushy the triggers are. It really gives a nice gaming feel when playing anything that really requires the triggers. The thumbsticks are a lot more tactile, although they can hurt. The Kinect comes with it. That's easily worth it for me. I'm not a big Kinect guy, but the fact that it comes with it, it kind of starts to justify the extra $100, as this does start at $499. I love how it looks. I love the features you can do when you want to actually do it, such as the quick notifications you can do, how you can just go ahead and push forward with your hand, and it will allow you to click on something. and I love how the graphics actually perform despite some games streaming in 720p HD. I think it still looks great on a TV. It looks fantastic. It looks great on a desk or under a set-top box, and being able to add it to cable, that's easily just worth it, because I'm not a big TV guy. I don't really see a point, as there's this cool thing called YouTube, but now that you can hook up your cable box and it's just very streamlined and easy to use, I'm definitely going to start watching TV more, but that's not good for productivity. So for $499, it's easily worth it with the cable and Kinect features only. Thank you guys so much for watching this video where we directly compared the brand new PS4 to the brand new Xbox One. These consoles are absolute beasts, and if you hook it up to any type of TV, maybe even a 4K TV, prepare for your eyes to be absolutely melted. They're seriously that good. It's actually going to be a tough decision for any type of consumer to pick one up this season, mainly because these consoles offer so many great different things, and the price points on them are highly competitive. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop me a like, as it lets me know you guys want more gaming content, as this is something new I'm trying out, and I'd be more than happy to go and produce more gaming content when it does come out in the near future. Also, drop me a comment down below letting me know which console you like the most. Do you even like consoles at all? Do you even like gaming? Are you someone who likes to use the GameCube from way back in the early 2000s? I don't even know if some of you watching my videos even remember that. Also, go and subscribe to the channel to be notified first when I produce a brand new video. It's free, it's cool, and it lets you know when a new video is out on some cool pieces of tech. We got tons more tech left in 2013, and then as soon as 2014 kicks off, it all starts back over again. Thank you guys so much once again, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.